everybody know what that term means, social media? All right, anybody know?
I guess it means advertising using internet.
Sort of. I sort of step back. In the early days of the internet, you put up a website, I would put content on, you would come and passively read it. It was one-way communication. Social media, social networking, it's all about back and forth communication. So it's not just me talking to you, it's you talking to me, it's you talking to each other, it's you talking to people on the other side of the world. And that's what we mean by social media. It's also when you hear the term Web 2.0, that's what they're talking about, is that sort of next stage of communication where it's not all the experts talking to other people, it's everybody talking to everybody. And that's what makes marketing with something like Facebook a little bit of a challenge, because it's a whole different way of communicating. But it's also really exciting, and it also really opens up a lot of doors. So what do I mean? Social media, social networking are terms that are used interchangeably. Really, the number one thing you need to remember is it's really just networking. The same as if you go to a Chamber of Commerce networking meeting. Anybody ever been to the Business Women's Network for the Owenstown Chamber? Same kind of thing, except instead of doing it face-to-face, looking at people talking, shaking their hands, you're doing it by computer. And so just remember, it's networking with people. The technology is just a tool. It's not the main thing, it's the people. And the idea with social media, social networking, Facebook, or any other tool that you're going to use is it's about building relationships with individual people. Now, the power of something like Facebook is you can communicate with a lot more people from all over the world a lot faster, a lot quicker, a lot easier than you can if you have to go face-to-face with people. But think back 200 years ago. If you wanted to talk to somebody, you couldn't pick up the phone and phone them. You had to get out of your house, walk down the street, and go and see them. The phone came and completely revolutionized how we communicated, because it's technology, but it's still just a tool, and it's still talking to other people. Same with Facebook, any other tool that you're using on the internet. It's just a tool to allow you to talk to other people. So it's about building relationships. And when you're talking about marketing, it's giving people the chance to know, like, and trust you. And that's the key. Because particularly on the internet, if someone's going to spend money, they're going to go and buy something from your website, or even pick up the phone to call your business, on the internet there's not the same level of trust as if somebody actually walks into your store and can look you in the eye and make a decision about who you are. So you have to really work at getting people to know, like, and trust you, because once people know who you are, they like what you have to say, and they trust that what you say is the truth, it's how you're going to deliver your products, it's how you're going to deliver your services, they're more likely to want to do business with you. So know, like, and trust. That's what you're trying to do. 3 rules of social networking, social media. It's not about the technology, it's about the people. The technology is just a tool. Just like the telephone is just a tool. It's not about networking, marketing by the phone, it's about talking to people. Same with Facebook or any social media. You are connecting with people. Just because you can send out mass emails to everybody on your list, and you can do it at the click of a button, doesn't mean you should be sending 10 a day. On Facebook, they have these little applications, and I'll talk about them later, where you can do water fights or other virtual games. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. So keep that in mind. You're connecting with people. Never say or do anything online you wouldn't say or do in person or by phone. So again, the water fight analogy. If you wouldn't go up to somebody at the Business Women's Network breakfast and squirt them with a water gun, don't do it on Facebook.
We should do it.
So and the other thing is, whatever happens on Facebook, it kind of lives forever. So you really want to be careful. If you wouldn't say something to somebody, if you were standing right in front of them looking them in the eye, if you wouldn't say it then, don't say it online. The other thing is, it's not get rich quick. Building relationships on Facebook is the same as building relationships at a networking meeting. You don't expect to go to a networking meeting once and make all the sales and say, okay, I'm done networking, I don't have to do it anymore. It's an ongoing process. Same with Facebook. It's something that takes place over time. You're not going to make sales right away. Sometimes it happens. I've been to a networking meeting where I met somebody the first time, and a week later I had business that generated thousands of dollars over the next 3 years. But that doesn't happen very often. The same with Facebook. I had a client of mine who took a course that I had on using social media, and he called me up the second week and said, I did one of the things that you told me and I got a new client. That was amazing, but it doesn't happen all the time. It's about building relationships over time. So keep that in mind. So connecting with people, don't say or do anything you wouldn't do in person, and it's going to take time. So Facebook, specifically. It was launched in February 2004, originally for Harvard University students, so it was college campus students, and then it spread to other college campuses. Now, in the normal world, 2004 is something that just happened recently. On the internet, Facebook is like the grandfather of internet marketing. This is ancient. So it's been around for a long time. Latest statistic I heard is 200 million active users. By active, we don't mean somebody who logged in once, played around for a while, and hasn't been back in 6 months. More than 15 million users update their statuses at least once a day. There are people who are on multiple times a day. My husband has only been on Facebook for about 4 months. He logs into Facebook before he eats breakfast, because he wants to see what his friends are doing, he wants to see what his mother is doing, he wants to know what's going on. There are an awful lot of people who check Facebook more often than they check their email. And the average user has 120 friends on Facebook. If you're using Facebook for marketing, you probably want to be slightly higher than the average user, but just to let you know who's using it. As I said, it was originally started on Harvard University, but now more than half of Facebook users are outside of college. The stats change almost daily. It's crazy. Fastest growing demographic is those 30 years and older, depending on what day of the week or what month you're looking at. I've heard the fastest growing group is those over 35. At one point it was the fastest group was women over 55. It's changing, but the key is, it's not just kids that are on Facebook. There's middle-aged people, there are old people. Jen will tell you about her grandmother who sends all kinds of stuff to people. So there's all ages on Facebook. I can just about guarantee whatever your target market, whoever you're trying to sell to, there's probably people on Facebook. Not just people, there are businesses on Facebook. Now, I'm going to go into this a little bit more, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on pages, but there's a difference on Facebook between your personal profile, which is your name, your picture, and a business page. But for example, here, this is Bloomingdale's, you know, the famous New York shop. They have a page on Facebook. Canadian Tire, there's lots of businesses that have pages on Facebook. You can have a page too. It doesn't cost anything to do. But you need to focus on your personal profile first. When somebody connects with you on Facebook, they become friends, they're Facebook friends. When somebody connects with your business page, they become a fan of your page. So businesses will have pages, a lot of celebrities have Facebook pages. So, if you're going to get started on Facebook, the first thing you need to do is create your personal profile. Even if you're going to have a page for your business, you still need to have a personal profile first. And one of the most important things is, it's called Facebook. It's not called Logo Book. It's not called My Pet Dog Book. It's Facebook. So really, particularly if you're going to be using Facebook for business, you want to have a professional looking photo, because that's going to be your brand on Facebook. And in fact, all across the internet.